Okay, you've got your farm estate plan in place. You know who's going to be responsible for making sure your wishes are followed. You know what you want to have happen. You've got that farm succession plan going. That's great. But how often should you update it? How much maintenance does it need? Watch this video to learn more. Hi, I'm Jason Wagner, the farm lawyer. I work with family farmers every single day to help them pass the farm on to the next generation. A lot of farmers come into my office and they're at the beginning stage of not knowing where to start, but they know they have to start somewhere. They know that it's important that the farm continue. They know that it's important that they have a plan. They don't want to end up like the neighbor or somebody else that they've heard about that didn't plan, that lost the farm, that left everything in a family fight or lost it to estate taxes. So good job. Get that foot in the door. Let's get a plan in place. I guarantee you whatever we do is going to be 100 times better than nothing. So no matter what, getting started is the most important thing you can do. It is invaluable to your farm operation. We'd rather have progress versus perfect. The more progress you make towards your farm estate plan, you're going to see that things aren't going to be perfect. And a lot of times it's never totally finished until we get to that point of death, until the succession takes over in the estate plan. So that's my first word of advice. Don't sit back. Don't wait for the perfect to happen. In the meantime, your farming area is getting older. Your farming operation maybe is growing. Don't let things just sit there with nothing and end up with a estate plan that says everything's going to be divided up among all of our kids and doesn't have that estate tax protection. So now let's say, yes, we've done it. We've got our estate plan in place. We've got a trust in place. We know that things might change, but we needed to start somewhere. Great. I recommend you review your farm estate plan at least every 3 to 5 years. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to have a whole revamp or you need to go through this whole process all over again, but it does mean, hey, we've got a really solid baseline. Let's check in. Let's see if there's any tweaks that we need to have happen here. Did you buy any new property? Has the farm economy changed where maybe some of the pricing terms that we have in here don't make sense any longer? It's not the perfect plan, but maybe we set up the plan where we think this is what's going to happen with our farm. We think this is our farm successor, but in 3 to 5 years, it might be a whole different story. We might be a lot more confident in knowing that this is our farm successor. We might be a lot more confident in being aggressive in our farm estate plan in leaving farm assets to our farm successor. We don't want those opportunities, those milestones to be missed, and for you to be looking at this farm estate plan 20 years down the line, and we're no longer confident this is our farm successor. They're lock, stock, and barrel are your farm successor, but you've got this plan that says maybe they are, maybe they aren't. So we don't want to leave that behind. For example, maybe you've got that 20-year-old will that you put in place when the kids were young, says everything goes to each other. That's good. That's good planning. It's responsible parenting for you to do that. But you've got a farm successor there. They've been there now, maybe 20 years. Don't leave your estate planning documents behind while your farm is continuing. Think about it. You spend so much money every year on the farm between repairs, rent, looking at possibly expanding. Keeping your farm estate plan updated is just like changing the oil or putting new tires on the tractor. It's just got to happen. It's part of being a responsible steward of these farm assets. What other time should you update your farm estate plan? If you're buying farm property, if you've inherited property, it's important that you incorporate those assets into your farm estate plan. Maybe we've already said all the farmland's going a certain direction or will be subject to certain terms, but we still need to make sure that it's actually funded to the trust. You know, it's very common that I'm working with a client and they say, oh, I just inherited this property. Well, it's in their own personal name. That's fine. But now we need to make sure it gets added to their trust. Or if we have an opportunity before you are at closing on a purchase or before you receive the gift, and we can connect and say, here's how it should be titled. Yes, we need to update the actual trust itself, or no, we don't. We just need to make sure that it's funded properly, which is often the case. Other times, maybe you have life insurance that's intended to fund a certain portion of your farm estate plan, and that life insurance is coming to the end of its term. We need to update that. That insurance, that plan might not make sense if we don't have some insurance to back it up. So now do we need to come up with a different pricing mechanism or payout method that's going to take the place of that insurance? Or you might be retiring from farming. Maybe you don't have a farm successor, but you're ready to retire from farming. What you're leaving behind can look a lot different when you have an active operation versus when you're moving more into a passive rental situation. When you're retiring from farming, might be an opportunity to do some other more in-depth estate planning as well, thinking about charitable giving, 1031 exchanges, all of which I have videos on my channel. Go check them out. Go check out farmlawyer.com. Finally, if there is a situation where your farm successor might not be the right person anymore, or maybe it's a good thing. Maybe you have multiple farm successors and we can bring in multiple people into this farm operation now. In the last few years, we've been focusing a lot on these high land values versus the farm economy. That land becomes such a target for non-farming heirs because of the disconnect between the farm economy and what the land is selling for, which means that our farming heir is a high risk if they have to buy that land. I ran a calculator the other day. I was taking land at, say, $10,000 an acre, doing a 30-year amortization, even at a 4% interest rate. We were coming up with $600 an acre that they'd be paying on that. If we did a discount off of it, maybe we're pushing it down to $400 an acre, $350. But this is land that right now maybe you're paying, if you have debt on it, maybe you're covering at $150 to $200 an acre. If you don't have any debt, well, you've got the property taxes for sure, but you don't have that $300 an acre cost on it, which means that the operation must change drastically in order to cash flow that. So if we want to maintain a per acre price on this land where they have to buy it out, we have to make sure that that correlates with what the actual farm economy is doing. So if you have a farm estate plan right now that says your farm successor can buy out land at a 20% discount, it's probably outdated. It probably doesn't make sense in today's farm economy. And I'm sorry to say, your farm successor might not succeed if that's what your farm estate plan says. So this is another opportunity for us to update that and make sure that we're setting your farm successor and your farm up for success. We want this to continue to the next generation so it can continue to the generation after that. If you like what you hear, follow me. I'm the Farm Lawyer. Check out farmlawyer.com.